Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 38 of the Finger Lakes Golfer Podcast on FingerLakes1.tv and YouTube, recorded live on Monday evening, August 31st, 2015. I'm your host, Jim Sinacropi, joined alongside my co-host, the Bobcat, Bob LaPrade, and also back in studio with Rhett Taccone. And I'll be with you for the next hour, where we'll recap the first week of the PGA Tour playoffs at the Barclays. We'll talk about some alternates to the four-man scramble tournaments. Every week there's a new four-man scramble charity tournament. Every week, every tournament you get in, it's a four-man scramble over and over again all summer long. So we'll talk about maybe some alternatives. The Champions Tour was at En-Joie down in Endicott this past weekend. We'll take a look at Travis Mathew golf apparel. We've taken a look at Linksole and Cricket, and we're continuing that trend with some of these. Travis Mathew, I guess, is a mainstream brand nowadays, but some of these newer golf clothing brands are pretty exciting. So we're going to look at Travis Mathew this week. And our club championship is this weekend. Bob and I are prepping up, and we'll talk about how we're doing. We'll have your local golf news and holes in one and much, much more. So without further ado, let me welcome into the show the Bobcat. There he is, Bob LaPrade. How you doing, Bobby, tonight?
Good evening.
37 in league with a double bogey on the first hole, the easiest hole in the front.
Yep, absolutely.
Sounds like you're peaking, though.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Am I going to watch you two on Monday in the championship match?
Would that be great?
It's a possibility. I mean, that would make for a podcast.
Straight into the podcast right off the course.
And there's Rhett Taccone in studio, as I mentioned.
How are you doing?
Next Monday's Labor Day. Traditionally, that's the final of the Seneca Falls Country Club Championship, and last year we had Ed Boudreau, the champ, in that night. So we'll hopefully continue that tradition with a special episode. But who knows? Maybe whoever wins it might just not want to come. So, we'll kind of play it by ear. But I'll tell you what, if I win it, or if Bobo wins it over there, we'll be here, right?
Right, yeah, absolutely.
So, I mentioned the four-man scrambles. I played in two of them this past week. I played in the Seneca County Chamber tournament, and I played in the Minders Basketball Above the Rim tournament, both four-man scrambles. And I don't know. I don't like the four-man scramble. I don't really look forward to playing in them. You get out there, even when you're playing pretty well, it's just like, have four guys hit, take the best one, and make some putts, miss some putts. I don't know. Go in and find out that you lost by maybe 4 shots when you thought you played about as good as you could play, or maybe you got to buy the mulligans.
Didn't buy enough mulligans.
Yeah, it's
right.
And I understand why they do the four-man scrambles. Everybody can play. You can get a team together. You get out there and you go. But man, I think some of these tournaments are having trouble recruiting teams like they used to too, because there's so many. Everybody about 5 years ago decided
that's the way we're going to raise our money.
Yeah, that's it's our big fundraiser, is the golf tournament, four-man scramble.
Yeah.
So if you're a tournament organizer, what would you say you guys would be a good way to maybe try something different? You guys have any ideas?
I know I did a lot with the Cornell tournament, Cornell football tournament for 8 years, and we were always trying to think of ways to move it along, but there were so many guys that came in. We had 2 shotguns, so it was two four-man scrambles with a bunch of fivesomes, and some teams had 6.
Yeah.
And, but they did this year. They made it all par 3s.
Oh, no kidding! That was one of my ideas.
Yeah, all par 3s. They did
That's
that. It's the first time I heard it, and said it moved along well. I don't know, the feedback from the players that played, but they did that, and for the sake of movement and keeping it going, all par 3 6-somes. So,
nice.
I haven't talked to anybody down there, but that's what they did. So I know that's one of the new. Sounds like one of the new ideas that's getting out there is to change it up. But like a place like Robert Trent Jones at Cornell, a lot of those guys that come back, want to play the course.
That's true.
So it's like, that's kind of a mixed bag there. I don't know if I'd like it, because even if it's a scramble, you're at least still hitting shots on the course, playing the course you remember when you were in college, or you come back to it. You look forward to coming back to play the course.
That's true.
For that diehard golfers.
But yeah, I like the idea of the par 3 though, because a lot of times these 4-man scrambles take 5, sometimes 6 hours, to get through the course. So you can design fun little par 3 holes on all the holes. Just move little tee markers, however far away, 100 yards, 150 yards on all the holes, and make some fun shots. And then you can have closest to the pin contest on all 18 holes.
Right.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
So that was one of the ideas I actually had. I didn't know that they were actually doing that down in Cornell.
Yeah, they did the first year this year. And, if you don't do par 3s, though, maybe even do, where the par 5s, you make them, just move the tees up, make them par 5s that everybody has a chance to make it in 2, things like that to shorten it up, but also, have a better chance to increase your score or, make eagles, just make some fun things like Jim was saying to change it up a little bit to make the interest a little bit more.
I was thinking some sort of alternate shot, but again, it's tough to convince somebody who doesn't golf to play on that team.
Right.
But then again, they hit their shot and you go from there.
Right.
It would move things along. Yeah. They would be hacking away less often, I guess.
Right. Yeah. So you're saying next guy hits the next shot.
4-person alternate shot. Or maybe everybody tees off an alternate shot in from there.
Yeah.
And you could strategically say, okay, this is our order. This is our batting order.
Right.
Again, that's probably a tougher sell to get people to join. It's everybody just knows what to expect. Oh, we show up. I mean, some people, that's all they do is play in scrambles.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, alternate shot. Another what I think is a really good format that I don't think would ever fly because it's probably way too confusing. Is you got your 2-man scramble best ball. So you divide your 4-man team into 2-man teams. You play 2-man scramble and take the best score for each hole of your 2 teams.
Playing more shots too.
You're playing more shots. You could even throw in a variation where you can switch partners for certain holes. Every tee you declare who your new partner is. I mean, that's just something that's different. A little hard to explain to someone at first, but I think might be more fun. You could make your tournament a night golf tournament with the glow balls.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Who's to say? I mean, actually, you get 18 foursomes out there at night.
Greenskeeper might not like
that could be a little much.
Next morning, but
usually the night golf tournaments are 9 holes, but if you wanted to really differentiate yourself, you have a tournament normally in like the middle of July you change it to a Friday night. Maybe you even start at 7 o'clock and play the first 9 at twilight and the last 9 after dark.
Yeah.
Right.
Something like that would set you apart. Or how about a 1 club tournament?
There you go.
You can do your scramble, but 1 club.
Yeah.
Or you could even make it an individual thing. But if you could do 4-man scramble, but say, hey, leave your golf bags.
That'd be cool.
In the car, take 1 club, and then you'd have to say, okay. Look, you could even say, look, I'm going to take the driver. I'm going to take a mid-iron. You take a wedge, and you can even say you take a putter.
Right.
Or you could all just pick 1 club, like in the middle of the road, and go at it. But
everybody hits a 5-iron.
Yeah.
5-iron scramble.
Yep.
Maybe somebody has a hybrid. Somebody has a 6-iron. 2 guys have a 6-iron. 1 guy has a pitch and wedge. Who knows? But it's something different.
Hybrid would be good. You could do a lot of different things.
Yeah, you
could
do get around the green with a hybrid, little chip shots. You could probably putt pretty well with a hybrid.
Right.
Sure.
But I don't know. It's I'm sick of these 4-man scrambles. I'm trying to get any way I can to get something different going on.
Well, I think anything that speeds them up is a good thing. A lot of them go on for 5-6 hours, and that's just. And you have a lot of people that don't play golf. They don't want to be out there 5 or 6 hours. After 12 holes, they're probably like, okay, I've had my fill. I'm done.
Yeah. You see that happening.
Yeah, right.
But I think the best idea, honestly, is the par 3. It's easy to execute.
Yeah.
You get the guys in there for 18 holes still. And par 3 after par 3 is probably fun for everybody, except for the guys that like to bomb it.
Yeah.
Right.
But it would be, you could still have your skins game. You could still... you could have your, like I say, closest to the pin contest on every single hole.
Right.
maybe that's the contest. Maybe the tournament scored differently. Like you get bonus points for winning the closest to the pin.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you said too. I mean, do they have to be 18 holes?
No.
Scrambles.
I mean, you could play 9 and do it cross country where you stretch out.
That's another great idea.
2 holes is 1 hole, which
Right.
you'd have to map it out so it's safe. But
Yeah.
you could do it.
Yeah,
And again, we play a lot of golf, so for us, an idea like that sounds like fun. But for someone who maybe plays 3-4 times a year and just gets in these tournaments for their employer or their
Right.
charity that they volunteer for, all these ideas are probably crazy. They probably can't even understand them. This Scramble's pretty simple.
But I bet people that don't play a lot would probably appreciate a 9-hole. As opposed to hacking it around the whole day, for 5 hours. You get out there at 2:00, you're done by 5, and you're on your way to dinner. But you had a pretty good team on Friday, didn't you?
Oh, for the Minders basketball tournament? Well, we did have New York State's our Minders Academy all-time leading scorer on our team, but that doesn't really help you much for golf.
You're talking about basketball, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did he do? Did he hit any bombs?
He had a couple good drives. I played golf with. This is Matt Verkey. Anybody who watches Finger Lakes One TV probably seen him in the winter. He hosts the Upstate Hoops podcast and Upstate Orange podcast along with myself, and calls high school basketball games on Finger Lakes One TV. But he's improved every year. I think that he's the type of guy that if he committed to playing in a league or playing once a week, that he'd become a decent golfer.
Right.
Was he giving you any hard time though? I mean, he's
yeah. There's 2 guys on our team that play a lot of golf, myself and Matt, and then another guy, Brent, who plays a fair amount of golf, and he actually played great. But we weren't making putts, and about halfway through, Vert goes, what the heck, guys? If this was a 3-on-3 tournament, I guarantee you I'd be filling it up.
So there's no 3-pointers on the putting green.
Right. So, yeah, he's competitive. Didn't want to, especially the Minders tournament, But no, we didn't win. We played okay, but, it's a thing. Par means nothing, so if you don't birdie a couple holes in a row, you feel like you're out of it.
Right.
And
he's not dropping you as teammates next year, is he?
Who knows? He might be. He might be. We lost to a team that his wife was on. Let's put it that way.
Ouch.
Yeah. And then just to let you tournament organizers out there know, don't sell mulligans. It's a cheap money grab. It ruins the any integrity of your event that you had less, because first of all, anybody can buy as many as they want and take a shot after shot over. And a lot of people, once you have mulligans introduced, a lot of people just take mulligans at will. They don't count how many they bought. They just give me that. I'll try that again. Oh, that went in. Okay.
It is a money grab. We sold $500 to one guy once.
In mulligans?
He got 50 mulligans. But
so that was great. What did he end up shooting?
They didn't even come close. Yeah. It was more that tournament that we did was more of an outing. It wasn't really a tournament. The winning team won a painted football that said they won the tournament, but it was more for the camaraderie. That one was. It was a bunch of football players getting together. So, but the mulligans definitely are an easy money grab. But you're right. If you're getting it, if it's a competitive tournament, you got to keep those to a minimum.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and have an extra 50-50 or something.
Yeah.
I would have 4 different 50-50s. When you go through the registration table, just go through, here's one 50-50. Okay, here's $5 for an arm's length. Oh, there's the second 50-50. Here's $5 more. And because, honestly, at the end of the day, when the tournament's over and we haven't won really anything and don't have any skin possibilities, and you're sitting there for dinner, the one thing that gets you excited is, it's time for the 50-50. Maybe I can win after all.
That's just like, all the prizes, raffle items that they put out there that nobody wants.
Yeah.
A lot of these just go 50-50. Do putting contests or something, or do 50-50 where you're getting some cash. I mean, that's...
Yeah, one thing that they kind of did that I liked... that sometimes tournaments will do is they get donations of merchandise from various people, the charity tournaments, and they'll put them all on a table. And then during the raffle, they'll raffle off a ticket. Your ticket gets called. You go up first. You get your pick of anything. And then they just keep going, until the table's empty and you're up there looking at a pair of women's pads.
Yeah.
So,
bag of unbreakable tees.
Yeah. Hey.
There you go.
That's a good prize.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So, all right. point is, get creative, tournament organizers. Try something different next year, especially if your tournament's lacking in participation. I've even seen mini golf tournaments. There's one up in Auburn where they actually play mini golf. Everything's the same as, golf and dinner, but it's mini golf.
Yeah, your tournament doesn't have to be 7 hours long.
No.
It's no fun for anybody.
9 holes or par 3s. I like it.
Yeah, yep. So, anyways, let's go to the FedEx playoffs.
Yes.
They're pretty set in their tournament format. It's 4 rounds of stroke play. And Jason Day is just tearing it up. It's unbelievable. Since the Open Championship, he's 73 under par. The next closest player is 49 under par through that stretch. I mean, it's a Tiger Woods-like dominance, and I want to kick myself because in the DraftKings pools, I really thought Jason Day was going to win the PGA Championship. I put him on my team. I had a nice week, but my rule is after a guy gets a career-changing win, I don't pick him the next couple weeks because I figure he's just a little,
Unless it was Tiger Woods years ago, right?
Right. But I was wrong with Day, and the fact that he has continued to win tournaments, it's Tiger-esque.
Right, oh, yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
The Canadian Open, when he won that one, that was a tight one. Mm-hmm. Then he pretty convincingly won the PGA, even though it was close. And then this one, I mean, to go 63-62 on the weekend and just bury the field. I mean, Bay was, one shot off the lead? They were in the last group together?
Oh, yeah, going into it.
He left him in the dust. He left him 8 shots back. I mean, guy's just playing unbelievable. It's out of his mind.
Day's a total package. He's got the physique, he's got the beard, he's got the game.
Bobby loves Jason Day. He's got a man crush on him.
After this weekend, I got a man crush on him. He's got everything working for him.
You mentioned his wife?
Yes, I did. I mentioned his wife.
Hey, look.
Cute kid. He's got a cute kid.
Oh, yeah, the cutest.
The thing with him, though, is like last year, was it Chris Kirk won? Did he win the Barclays?
No, he won the Deutsche Bank.
Right. So he's in the lead going into it, but you never heard of him really before. Yeah. Jason Day has been building for about 6-7 years now.
Right.
And you've just been saying, well, when is this guy really going to get that major and go on a run too? I mean, we're not even talking about Jordan Spieth the last few weeks because of what Jason Day's doing, and Jordan Spieth wins 2 majors and
they're
4
saying now
tournaments.
that Day might take Player of the Year if he keeps this up.
I mean, if he wins another one of these next 3,
nobody's going to beat him next week. Who's going to beat Jason Day next week?
Spieth, maybe.
Spieth missed the cut. Like I'm starting to think.
You know what? Hey,
I think he's running out of gas.
There might be a rebound. You never know.
And McIlroy's back this week.
McIlroy's he's all into soccer at the moment.
I don't know. I think he might do all right.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I suppose if you're picking your team this week, that the popular choice will be Jason Day. But it's not like it's a weak field. You got everybody: McIlroy, Spieth, Zach Johnson.
That's why it's the FedEx playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Anybody can sneak up. Your 30 through 50 guys this week can sneak up and win the tournament.
What's it take for like the guys 71 to 100 to get into the 70? I know a win would obviously help that, but top 10s. There's some big names. 71 to 100. I mean,
well, to give you an idea, Stuart Sink was 120 something, I think, and he came in 39th place, and he didn't get into the top 100, even though it's quadruple points or whatever.
Adam Scott misses out. I mean, Keegan Bradley's sitting on 71.
Right.
He could be out. Charles Howell. There's.
I think what it comes down to is these guys, how the course fits them in their style of play, and obviously how well they play during that week or this week. So those 2 things I think are the major factor.
Well, some people you won't be seeing this week: Padraig Harrington, Greg Owen, John Pedersen, Adam Scott, Adam Hadwin, the Canadian, Charles Schwartzel, John Hugh, Francisco Molinari. They all dropped out.
Lee Westwood.
They were top 100 going into this week, and they dropped out.
Right.
And some guys that made their way into the Deutsche Bank to stay alive. Zach Blair went from 106 to 45. Spencer Levin, Jason Duffner, Carlos Ortiz, who sat on the first round lead, I think, or young Mexican. Mark Wilson, Luke Donald, Johnson Wagner, Camilo Villegas went from 123 to 99 just to sneak in.
Yeah.
He's playing well.
Yeah, he's starting to creep up there.
He might be a pick this week.
Yeah.
This tournament's awesome too, though. The fact that it finishes on Monday.
Yeah, Labor Day finish starts on Friday too.
Yeah, always been some good battles too. Remember the beginning of the FedEx, those first couple of years with Tiger and VJ.
Yep.
I think the year that Tiger won it, that was a good one. And then a year later when Phil won, did Phil win the tournament? He won the FedEx Cup, but Tiger won Phil won the Tour Championship. Tiger won the FedEx Cup that second year, I think.
Yep.
But here we come to the first time since the PGA that you have Spieth, Day, and McIlroy all teeing it up.
Yeah.
And in a way, it was a little disappointing that Day ran away with it, and the guy like Spieth wasn't there to challenge him.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, golf ebbs and flows, but we had ourselves convinced that Jordan Spieth could never miss a cut.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, to have a playoffs where you can sit out and still continue on, to me that doesn't make sense. I know it's a point system, so but if you're trying to really get these guys to get after it and have a true champion, I mean, the wild card in the NFL doesn't sit out the wild card game and move on to the next round. It's like it just doesn't seem. Just something to miss. They've definitely made it better than it was the first few years.
Well, let's talk about it. What we need to do. I mean, first of all, do you like the current format? Second of all, what's the alternative? Because I got some ideas, but I'd be happy to hear your guys' side. I mean, Rhett, you basically said you don't like people sitting out.
Yeah, I don't like them sitting out. What I do love, and I love watching that every year, is match play. I know it would take a while, but it would be great to see the top 120 match play it down to 60.
Right.
One next tournament, match play it again, something like that, where that's playoffs. I mean,
I agree. I think it should be a hybrid, though. I don't want to. Match play's too crazy. Anybody can beat anybody. So I don't want to see the 160th player against the number one player. What I'd like to see is for these first two rounds, maybe even the first three, it is stroke play, and you cut the field down kind of like they do now, except maybe a little more aggressively, so you're left with a final 16 that go to the Tour Championship. And from there, you play match play, and that would be incredible. And you know what? I think the one thing the FedEx Cup is missing is, in terms of fan popularity, is a clear winner and a loser.
Right.
You can go to the Tour Championship and win it and not win the FedEx Cup. That's crazy. Let's put that aside. Mano-y-mano. The semifinals that could include incredible matchups.
Right.
I think that's the way to go.
To their credit, they have had it. The last few years come down to the final tournament, and when Bill Haas hits that shot, to win it. Furyk, I think, came down to the 18th hole to win his, but I still feel like there's something missing there.
I'd feel better about Bill Haas accepting him as a champion if he beat somebody in match play.
If he beat Rory or beat Spieth or somebody like that.
I mean, technically he did, score-wise, but it's just not the same. We have the Accenture match play, which is great. It's a lot of fun, but the winner just wins the tournament. This is for the title of the PGA Tour champion, and I think you almost have to get out there and let them battle it. After you play your 3 tournaments of stroke play to whittle the field down to 16, and the last tournament before the Tour Championship would be incredibly exciting to see who gets into that top 16, and the rest are playing for seedings. And let's face it, the winner's share of these FedEx Cup tournaments are huge prize money anyway. And I would also like to see the Tour Championship not be at Eastlake every year. It just seems like too low caliber. It's a great golf course, obviously, but
they must be Coca-Cola's driving that train a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's true, but Pinehurst.
They moved the other 3 around.
Yeah.
The BMWs in the Chicago area.
Yep.
The Barclays is in New York area, and the TPC of Boston, they keep the same too, which they could move that one around.
I think they should too.
West Coast maybe. Why not play some of these out on the West Coast?
Well, man, that's a good point. I like that's one thing about the playoffs.
I
like it's a Northeast type of feel to it, but you're right. But that Tour Championship, it should have a rotation of the best courses. Maybe Oak Hill
Major
one
style,
year, maybe Pinehurst, maybe Pebble Beach.
Yep. Yeah, all the major stops. That would be great to
there.
Yeah,
throw those in there. But match play, that's like, the PGA Championship used to be match play, so that's like they settled the winner, the true champion, so to speak. I mean,
I don't like the fact that Rory can sit out or any other player once the playoffs start. I think you have to show up, and I think it should be stroke play. Everything should be zeroed at that point.
Right, and what Rory dropped.
Whether you have 4,000 points or 100 points, everything should be zeroed. And now it's just golf. It's golf at that point.
He only dropped 6 spots and he didn't play the tournament.
Right. I mean,
there should be a little bit more penalty for that too. I mean,
why should you be able to sit out 4 rounds and then
if you're gonna allow that, make it more penal so you can, drop them way back so they have to work harder to get back up to win it. I mean, he's still in the top 15. You get one win and he's right back up to the top.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It's tough, though, just because of the nature of golf. I mean, let's say that it was almost wiped clean for the playoff. Jordan Spieth would be done.
Yeah.
And we don't want that, though.
No.
Sure, but I really think he would have played differently.
Well, maybe he would have prepared. Rory certainly would have been there.
Right.
But the other thing is, that is unfortunate. But guess what? When the number 1 seed enters the NFL playoffs and gets upset in the wild card round,
it happens.
Yeah, it does happen.
Yep, big upsets. Their season's done.
Name a sport when a team can say, you know what, we're not gonna play this round. We're gonna sit it out.
Then they advance them anyway.
Yeah,
that's it. Golf.
Well, if we do go the stroke play into match play format too, you can also offer first round buys for guys. Because then those in a match play situation, those first round buys are very valuable. Because no matter if it's Jason Day against the best player against the 100th player in match play, Jason Day might win 7 to 10 times.
We've seen it happen over the years in match play.
So. If you took the first one and you made that stroke play and even maybe first and second, but if you had the last 3. Where some buys were offered, and you had the match play scenario when you got it down to 100 or down, just maybe you knock a bunch more off and you get it down to 64 with 3 tournaments to go.
I personally think it would be more exciting just to see stroke all the way to the finish.
What if how about this? What if you took stroke play, first one, then you got and you whittle it down to 64, and then maybe you take match play down to 32, match play down to 16, and then you go to like a Tiger World Challenge format for the top 16 tournament, and that's it, not the top 30. Go back to stroke play for the last tournament, so you get a little bit of both.
Yeah, I'm putting my vote in for stroke play to get the top 125 down to 100, or maybe down to 75, or maybe you start with only the top 100 to get in the FedEx playoffs, and then eventually you're sending 16. It's all stroke play. And you're sending 16 or maybe, let's say, 12 or 20 or whatever it is to the Tour Championships with the top 4 guys getting by somehow. And then you play match play throughout, and it would just be probably one of the more exciting golf tournaments of the year.
Yeah.
But I'm not for a 64 team March Madness style. It's too many. You're going to end up knocking off Jason Day or Jordan Spieth in the second round, and you're going to get a champion like Sang-Moon Bae or somebody who's a great player, but I would gear it so you are pushing these guys so we see matches like Spieth versus McIlroy or Zach Johnson versus Jason Day in the semifinals. Can you imagine how incredible that would be?
That would be awesome.
So
that's what you want.
Okay, PJ, listen up. Do what we say. Hey, we played at En-Joie a couple months ago, Bob and I, and we also we played at En-Joie.
Yep.
In June, was it?
Yes.
In the Pro-Am.
I think it was June, yep.
And the Champions Tour was at En-Joie.
Yeah.
And it was won by Jeff Maggart, his 4th win on the Champions Tour this year, and two majors by Maggart. And how much fun. That was on the Golf Channel. I just really enjoy watching a golf tournament that I played on the course.
Right.
And En-Joie was in fantastic shape, and it's after playing it, Bob, it's a fun course to play.
It's a great course. Great course to play at.
And it led to some, it could have been exciting down the finish, but Maggart pulled away a little bit.
Yeah.
Nice crowds, good tournament down there in En-Joie, and it's something where I always say that I got to get down there. And then it's just the time of year, I think, makes it tough. this time of year I get that feeling of I just want to golf as much as I can because it's the end of the season's creeping in.
Yeah.
And I'll play golf right through October.
It's running out.
Right.
But it's winding down in our club championship this weekend. We'll talk about that coming up here briefly. But first, Bob, let's kick it over to your pick of the week segment.
Okay.
All right, Bob, what do you got for us this week for the pick of the week?
This week we have Travis Mathew golf apparel. As you can see, I'm wearing a Travis Mathew hat.
Nice hat.
You have a T-shirt on. I think Rhett's wearing a golf shirt and hat as well. Very nice, very stylish. I would say.
Very hip stuff.
Yeah, agree. Very comfortable as well.
They have, and one thing, they have such a big selection of hats.
Yeah.
Their golf hats are awesome. They're
yeah, it's like I said, we've talked about Link Soul and Cricket, more classic design.
Yeah.
Travis Mathew, it seems to be more of a modern feel, somewhere caught between that classic look and an Under Armour type of look. But I'll tell you, when I see someone in a Travis Mathew golf shirt, I more than anybody else, I say, "Hey, nice shirt."
Yeah.
Where'd you see that? I hadn't seen that before. And more often than not, when a shirt at a golf course that somebody's wearing catches my eye, it's a Travis Mathew.
Yeah.
And it's strange because it's an understated type of style. It's a unique style.
Yeah, they use, you notice they use a lot of clean lines.
Yeah.
Like this shirt, it's two different, colors, but then they'll have the shirts with the lines across with multiple different colors in them, but they don't go like all the way up and down the shirt.
Right.
Very clean lines on them, and but the cut is very, it's a athletic, slim fitting cut more so. You can see by who they have in their stable of golfers that they have, they're going for younger, hipper
Keegan
look.
Bradley.
Keegan Bradley,
Yeah.
Charlie Hoffman, Matt Jones, who hit that shot out of the hospitality tent in the Travis Mathew shirt, looking good doing it.
Yep.
Their look is unique for sure. They have a lot of different stuff though too. They have head covers. They make phone cases, T-shirts. But one of the best things, their slogan is awesome. Sorry for being awesome. Is their slogan. So
Yeah, that is cool.
When I saw that shirt, I got when Bubba Watson won his first Masters. He was with Travis Mathew then.
Mhm.
And,
Right.
They had the shirt with the shot, and the ball was highlighted in pink, and everything else was black and white. And at the bottom, it just said "Sorry for being awesome." And
Right.
Look at the belts on these kids.
Don't mess around.
Yeah.
Gotta get one of those for Carter.
Yeah, look at that. So yeah, to me, it's a brand that's not out in your face, but when you see it, it's different,
Yeah.
and like I say, you're compelled to take a second look
Yeah.
and tell whoever's that the nice shirt. Where'd you get that?
Right.
Well, what's different is if you take and look at Nike and Under Armour, they all kind of have the same look, right? It's hard to tell the difference unless you see the logo.
It's the bright colors. And
Yeah.
the,
Travis Mathew stands out, different from them.
Right.
If I see you in that shirt from a distance, I know it's not Under Armour,
Right.
or I know
Right.
it's not Nike, or
So where'd you get that shirt? What
Right.
shirt is that? It's
Right.
Travis Mathew. Oh yeah, I've heard of them. They make
Right.
nice stuff.
And the logo does look good on a hat.
Yeah,
And,
definitely.
there's just a ton of stuff to choose from at their website at travismathew.com. That's no S, 1T, travismathew.com. And their new fall lines just got posted to their website recently. So if you do go to their website, and actually I can pull it up here for you guys to see, and you go to fall 2015 lineup.
Nice thing is they show like what some of those like Keegan's wearing each day, and you can go and buy the package of the outfit. So they put them together for you if you
want to look like Keegan.
Yeah, if you want to look like Keegan, he wears
Well,
some good stuff. There's
another
my shirt.
thing too is Travis Mathew should be aware that a lot of golfers look up to us, and if they send us this stuff,
That's right.
will influence
Just by wearing it. People
No
want to be
doubt.
like us.
hundreds of golfers will be influenced.
They did a nice job hooking us up.
Maybe thousands.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
No, much appreciated.
Yeah, once again, that's Travis Mathew Golf, travismathew.com, and it is more than just golf wear. It's just a casual wear, general casual wear.
Right.
It's quality.
But you wear that stuff on the golf course. You wear these polos on the golf course, and you're going to turn a few heads. And
No doubt.
Bobby trying to woo maybe Jason Day to look his way.
I know
He's got a man crush on Jason Day. Maybe
Listen,
Bob gets a lot
he's
of
got it
comments in
all.
that hat.
He's got a lot. Yeah, I have. I really like this hat. I like the pinstriping. I like.
Look good, feel good, play good, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
So, hey, subscribe to the Finger Lakes Golfer Podcast on YouTube. We're coming down here to almost the end of our season here. We go to end of September, kind of end of the tour season, maybe one episode in October, but then we shut it down and we come back around Masters time next year. We've had a great season. Before the year's over, we'll recap a lot of the stuff that we talked about and give updates on some things. But when we do go away and we do come back, if you subscribe on YouTube by clicking that red subscribe button over here, we'll be sure to pop up in your feed when we come back. It'll be like, oh, man, I forgot about those guys. It's golf season. I'm going to have a listen.
Right.
And we're also on iTunes, Stitcher.com, and we appear on the FingerLakes1.com app at the Android or Apple Store. All these links, our latest episodes, and complete archives are available at FingerLakes1.tv/golfpod. Take a quick look here at local golf news. The high school golf season is underway in the Finger Lakes East and West Leagues. Wayne County, they play in the spring. When I was in school, we played in the spring too, but because of weather concerns, the Finger Lakes East and West Leagues play in the fall now. I'm not so sure how happy football and soccer coaches are about that.
We might need to get that moved a few years down the road.
Lacrosse coaches are happy, though.
I got a couple people that are at my house that are interested in golf and soccer, so we're going to have to do something about that.
Yeah, I played with your son yesterday, and he absolutely jacked a drive on 5. We tee him off at the 150 when we played with the kids, and he drove it almost to the green, dead on with a pin. I was like, that shot was the one. That was his best shot ever.
Yeah, no doubt. But the key thing there, too, was the chip, and then he made the birdie putt. So
yeah, made a 3 from 150. Did you? Did he talk to you about that drive later? Did he say, "Man, that one on 5 was great"?
He came over to the cart after he hit it, and he's like, "Wow, that was awesome!" So it was great to see him enjoy, hitting it the way he was trying to hit it.
That's the epiphany sometimes in golf when you hit that one ball and you're like, "Oh, I get it."
Right,
I get it now.
He took the ball and he wrote a 2 on it, and I said, "Well, you got a 3 because it was a par 4 technically." So I had to fix the ball for him, but now it's on his shelf. His first
birdie.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But he did jack that, and he's probably thinking, "That's it. Now I'm ready to go on tour." And then you have fun the next rest of your life trying to replicate that shot that you hit.
He asked if we could play tonight. I said, "Well, we'll get out there again this week."
Yeah, he's got the fever. Well, that's good.
Definitely.
Well, Gunnar Doyle of Pittsford, New York, fired a 4-under par 68 in the final round of the 4 Performance Junior Golf Championship to claim his first AJGA title with a tournament total of 8-under par 208. That's a national tournament. Gunnar Doyle, name you're probably going to hear about for many years to come, and on the level of PGATourweb.com, we'll have to see. But he's on pace for that type of career, Gunnar Doyle.
Sure, 8-under.
Central New York PGA had their championship last week at Turning Stone, and defending champ Kevin Savage of Timberbanks followed up an opening round 68 at Shenandoah with a 1-under par 71 at Adunio to finish 5-under at 139 and claim back-to-back Central New York PGA Championship honors. With the victory, Savage earns a spot along with runner-up Dan Wood, who shot a pair of 70s, Mark Tucker, and Dennis Colligan to compete in the 2016 PGA Professional Championship June 26th through 29th at the same 2 golf courses, and that's in the PGA of America's centennial year on the road to the PGA Championship at Baltusrol. So those guys now are bumped ahead with an opportunity to be one of those 28, 29 club pros at Baltusrol for the PGA next year. So congratulations to those guys and to Kevin Savage on the championship. Mentioned before on the podcast, coming up end of this month, it's a big weekend for two-man scrambles. We said we don't like four-man scrambles, but two-man scrambles are the best because par still means a lot, and you can go out there with your partner and you can scramble it up and play the course like a PGA Tour pro would play, trying to shoot a 65, 66, a good score in a two-man scramble, right?
Right.
So there's two of them on back-to-back days. And I'm encouraging all our listeners to get in both of these. They're both cash scrambles. The first one's the 26th of September on Saturday. It's the SFCC Scratch Series two-man fall scramble at Seneca Falls Country Club. And then coming up the next day on Sunday the 27th, it's the 2015 Geneva Country Club Fall Invitational two-man scramble. Back-to-back two-man scrambles at the end of September, and both courses should be in great shape for it. And fun tournament, cash tournament. You're not there is some food involved at the Geneva. Seneca Falls, the kitchen's open and they put out some food for these guys usually, but most of the money for both of these goes to skins game and cash prizes for the tournament. So
nice.
Grab your partner, play in both of them.
Cash is king.
This week's holes in one, you have Jonathan Salamone used a 9-iron to ace the 145-yard 11th hole on Victor Hill South. Bill Reed aced the 164-yard 18th hole at Tuscarora using a rescue club, whatever that means. Is it a 4 hybrid? Is it a 5? A rescue club. Janet Anthony aced the 151-yard second hole at Tuscarora using a 7-wood. Ken Burns, I don't know if it's a documentary filmmaker or not, but he used a 5-iron to score a hole-in-one on the 170-yard 17th hole at Mill Creek. Nadine Campisi used a 7-iron to score a hole-in-one on the 121-yard third hole at Eagle Vale, and Bill Roberts used a 4-iron to score a hole-in-one on the 180-yard 17th at Cobblestone. Sue Nagel scored a hole-in-one at the 149-yard 9th at Highland Park in Auburn using a 4 hybrid, and we have one that we've been meaning to.
I keep forgetting to tell you or remind you on Mondays. So I watched it last week and forgot to tell you, but we got to give a shout out. It was probably 3 weeks ago now, but Chuck Myers from Geneva. He was playing he plays out of Clifton Springs. He got an ace on the 16th, the 164-yard 16th a couple weeks ago. So
Clifton,
congratulations, Coach Myers, my old PE teacher and football coach at Lions.
Do you know if that was his first ace?
I believe it was.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. And as always, send us your hole-in-ones to contact@fingerlakes1.com with the subject line FLX Golfer. We'll read them on the air. And I have two players to report at Highland in Auburn that shot their age this week, and they played together in the same round. It's Bob Mitchell, age 72, shot a 72, playing with Ed Krikovich, age 75, who shot a 74 back on August 21st. So Two guys, same round, shoot their age. Both these guys are great golfers. Both these guys have played in the Scratch Series events at Seneca Falls before, too, that I just mentioned. So, hey, man, when I'm 72 or 75 and I can shoot in the low 70s,
it's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing, and Bob and Ed are great golfers. So that brings me to our Zen tip of the week, and I got to tell you, I don't know how much a Zen tip this is, but I guess it kind of is. So here we go. Zen tip of the week.
Zen tip of the week.
Okay, this week's Zen tip of the week is basically a putting drill that I've been using, and the tip is to make practice some sort of game in some way that you can quantify kind of how you're doing. And I practice putting this summer a lot, more than any other part of my game. I don't really practice a lot, but when I do, it's usually short game I practice. And I just haven't putted the way I used to years ago in a long time, and I'm getting sick of it. Putting's the most important part. Talk about the club championship. If you're going to even have a chance to win the club championship, you've got to putt well. You got to qualify in the stroke play, where you're putting under pressure, and then match play is like putting's the most important thing. So, anyways, I've been putting in the time on the putting green, and if you just go out there with 2 or 3 balls and putt after putt after putt, I mean, that's all right, but I like to make a game out of it to tell how I'm doing. And what I like to do is play 18 holes, on the putting green. Everyone's a par 2. And I vary up the distances based on like the layout of our own course. So our first hole is a par 4. It's kind of a short par 4. So I'll putt maybe a 20 or 25 footer. The next hole is a little tougher par 4. I might pick a hole that's a 30 footer with a little break. Then the next hole is a par 3. I'll putt a 12 footer. So unlike real golf, when you come across the 4 par 3s during my putting round, they're birdie opportunity. It's ones you want to make in range, 10 to 12 feet. So on and so forth. For the par 5s, I would play, I might put the ball on the fringe and play the farthest putt I can make across the green. Depending on your putting green, you might be able to have long putts without going on the fringe. But at Seneca Falls, I do fringe putts for the par 5s. So anyways, this way, as you play along, you're like, oh, I'm 1 over par through 3. And then after the next hole, okay, I'm 1 over par through 4. And you get to the end. And I've generally, every time I've done this, I've been over par. It's tough not to be. Because, and the other rule is you put everything out. I don't care if it's a tap in. Just the process of putting a ball in a hole from a couple inches, it's satisfying in a way. You don't want to start scooping up 6-inch and then 8 inches, or put it in. They have the thing in the cups and the putting green. You can just lift it out. You don't have to bend over. So anyways, I showed improvement earlier tonight with a 1 over score for 18, and I did it again and shot 4 under. And my tip is, to make little games like this for yourself when you practice, not only so it's more fun to sit there and practice, but so you can quantify your results. So you can say, geez, I've been coming out here and practicing twice a week for an hour each time, and I definitely getting better because I'm seeing the results. Not on the scores on the course, but in the score on my practice game. I don't know if that's a Zen tip or not, but
yeah, I think
it's a tip. It's a tip, but yeah, it's a mental. There's you're playing games with your head to convince yourself.
Now you change grips though too, so now you're using a Garson grip.
Right.
So where's your scores 6-7 over before you made the Garson grip change, or you think that has anything to do with it?
A part of it did, because I was lost, and honestly, as much as I was practicing, I couldn't get to that comfort level.
Right.
And it was actually Sunday after we played. I didn't putt bad. I just didn't make a lot, and we ate lunch, and I usually go home, and Bob had his putting mirror, and he's like, I'm going to pull out the putting mirror. I'm like, awesome, I'm going to stay for a while, and we probably stayed for 45 minutes on the putting green. And the first thing I realized, using his putting mirror, which is basically a mirror with a line on it that you put the ball, when you look over the line, you can see if your head's over the ball.
Oh, okay.
And my ball head was nowhere near it. When I thought I was over the ball, I wasn't. So I ended up moving a lot closer to the ball than I would have thought was comfortable. And I never moved that close before because I would hit my leg on the backstroke. But then we talked about our friend Bob Fuller, PGA pro. When he putts, he always takes the club back the same distance, like maybe this far, whether it's a 60-foot putt or a 3-foot putt. And I started doing that, and I found that helped me roll it at and into the hole instead of stroking it and rolling it up to the hole. And it's a weird thing, but... And when we played last night with the kids, that putt I made on 6 was bam, right in the hole.
You told me that, and I tried it. It's going to
weird.
take a lot more work.
It's weird.
Yeah,
it's a weird.
You gotta take work.
It kind of clicked for me, and it clicked tonight when I was practicing. The first 18 of my game I played, I had maybe 2 birdies. I maybe holed 2 putts out of the 18 holes, and I had 3 3-putts where I was knocking it way by, you know, and leaving myself like maybe 8 feet back. But then after the second time, I just had a better control of my distance because I was getting used to it, I guess. And I don't know, I'm really excited to get out there and try it on the golf course.
I could see it on the longer putts. Obviously, I mean, if you're trying to do it, but I would have hard time with the shorter putts, almost decelling. No,
you'll be surprised.
To keep it this,
you can hit a short putt on a couple inches to 25 feet with the same length of a backswing. You'll be surprised, and you really have to test yourself and challenge yourself to take the shortest backswing possible and hit it that length.
So you're talking 4-6 inches tops?
You got to feel it yourself.
Yeah.
You know, what can how can I get the ball there with the least amount of effort?
Right.
On the backswing, right? On the forward swing, you definitely have to accelerate, but you have to challenge yourself and say, "Hey, can I take it back this far and hit it 20 feet?"
Right.
Guess what? You'll surprise yourself. You can, and what it does for you is it keeps the club face square.
Right.
Yeah, that's what the biggest problem I have.
I'm taking it back a lot further than that, Bob, but not
No,
a lot further. I'm talking
I'm
like maybe
using
this
that-
far on
Yeah,
every
right.
single putt, like that far.
But it surprised you when you did it, right? The
Yeah,
first couple
and
times,
I
right?
guess
So
I'd
that's what
always
I'm saying.
known that he'd done that, and I thought it was just so crazy that, you know,
That's
You
what
could
I
do
mean,
it.
though. Like Jim said, you know, if you're taking it back a foot on a 2-foot putt, it feels like you would have to decelerate to, because if I'm taking it back a foot for a 15-footer and then I got a 3-foot, it just would feel weird to me. But
I tell you what it is.
Yeah.
It's you feel like you're actually hitting the ball. It's almost letting your hand-eye coordination and your feel take over because you're hitting it into the cup. You know how hard you have to hit it, and
Right.
I actually like it a lot for those putts inside 5 feet.
Right.
I don't, because getting caught up in, okay, my putter head's aligned, all I got to do is hit it over my mark and it'll go. And now it's I don't know, because I'm standing closer to the ball and I can see the line better. Now it's just like hitting it in the hole, hitting it
You
in the
can't
hole,
really,
hitting it in
you
the hole.
can't decel.
I
because
wasn't pushing, I
the-
wasn't pulling.
Right. The back of your mind, when you take it back shorter, the back of your mind says, you know, you can't decel. You're like, oh, wow, I got to hit this.
right.
So now you're hitting it past the ball. You're hitting it past the hole with pace. And what do we do as amateurs? We usually hit it too slow.
Yep.
And it doesn't, you know, we hit it probably on the right line and we don't catch the break like we wanted to. So,
Exactly.
because we haven't hit it hard enough.
Yeah, so like I say, Zen tip, putting tip, whatever it is, practice tip is to make a game out of what you're doing somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not putting. Maybe you like hitting balls. Well,
Chipping.
or
Yeah,
chipping.
chipping.
There's a lot of little games you can say to do when you're chipping. Say, okay, I'm going to chip 10 balls from this spot, and if I touch the cup with one, that's 1 point. And you know, I'm going to see if after playing 5 holes at 50 shots, if I can touch, how many times I can touch the cup, and if you make one, give yourself 5 points.
Right.
Or it could be a driver out on the range. You know, you pick an area and you say, that's my fairway. I'm going to hit 10 balls. Let's see what my percentage is when I'm done.
And, yeah, anytime just making any of those practice routines a competition
Sure.
Right.
with yourself
Sure.
just helps you get more into the
Right.
like you would be out on the course doing, you know.
Well, it's easy to go to the range when you're really going to work on your game and just line up balls and fire them. Right.
Right,
Not
right.
thinking about anything.
Right.
So if you
But
if
they
you have a
don't-
goal in mind,
You're right.
just
That-
like you do on the course, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could hit dozen in a row perfect. That doesn't translate out onto the course, though,
Right.
if you give yourself a little incentive to
Sure.
hit it to the 150 or, you know,
Right.
hit it to the pin.
I've gone to the range and played around where I get all my clubs out and hit a driver, and you know, in hole 1 that would put me, okay, I'd say that I'm going to be probably 40 yards out, so then I'll take out a wedge and hit a 40-yard wedge, and then I'll take out the driver on hole 2 and I'll hit it, and I'll say, oh, that would put me about 160 out right side. I would probably have to play a draw, maybe even around a tree
Mhm.
or a low shot, take out the club, hit that shot, and so on and so forth. 3's a par 3. I playing 170. I'm going to hit this club and play through your round on the range without
Yeah.
putting or chipping, but
Right.
you know,
Oh,
for
I
the
was
full
gonna
shots,
ask,
and
do
it
you
goes
go to
pretty
the putting
quick.
green or-
No, I don't go that far. It's just I don't leave the range. It's like after every approach shot for 18 times, I run over to the putting green.
Right, yeah.
Okay, that one felt like it's about
That's a
5
good-
feet.
That'd be a
Right.
good cardio workout, too.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, hey, before we get out of here, I want to let you guys know about a movie that's on the Golf Channel at 9 o'clock. It's a golf film called The Squeeze, starring Christopher McDonald and Jerry Sumter, and the brainchild of longtime golf television producer Terry Jastrow. It's debuting on the Golf Channel at 9 o'clock. It's described as the story of a young man with uncommon golf skills who becomes caught up in a deadly high-stakes golf match between big-time gamblers. So, who knows? it's a golf movie, something different. That's 9 o'clock. You can set your DVRs, or maybe it's available on demand after Wednesday at 9 when it debuts.
Was this a world premiere, or was it in the theaters or anything?
It did make limited theater appearances to very bad reviews, I guess. But
straight to DVR.
This year?
Recently maybe. Okay. I'm not sure, but you know what?
Sounds like a good
Caddyshack also.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a golf movie, so
got bad reviews.
It's got that going for you.
Caddyshack got horrible reviews when it came out, and didn't the director kill himself?
I don't know, but it's greatest comedy ever.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
That and Animal House. I mean, how do you beat those two?
Yeah, Caddyshack's a top 5 movie of all time for me, without a doubt.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So maybe this one, I don't know if it'll end up being top 5, but something different. Just wanted to mention it before we got out of here. So, hey, guys, thanks for hanging out again. We don't know how many more weeks we got left here. What is it? We got Labor Day weekend. Maybe back here next Monday night for the Club Championship special, which, I guess we got a couple minutes, Bob. How you feeling about the Club Championship? That's like our goal, right? Ultimate golf goal. For me, it's my lifetime goal. I want to be club champ. I put so much into it. I want to win the Club Championship, and I've been playing it since I'm 16, and I'm 43 now. Window's closing. It better be sooner than later, but I'm feeling good. I've played my last 7 rounds in the 70s, and the scores have ranged from 75 to 79, but it's almost there. I just want to.
Yesterday was good. The putts weren't dropping.
Yeah, and I hit 12 or 13 greens, I think, yesterday. I can't ask for much more than that, and I wasn't putting bad. I only had 1-3 putt.
Just weren't. They were right there.
Made most of the short ones. But yeah, so I feel like you want that putter to get hot and make a run. It's 36 hole stroke play, top 8 advanced to match play, all on Labor Day weekend. And Bob, you were a little lost just even a week ago with your game. You were like thinking you weren't even going to sign up, but now things are turning, baby, aren't they?
Yeah, well, it seems like every August I get lost for some reason or another, but oh, you just go out, you try to play your best. You got to deal with the ups and downs. That that's the big thing, is sometimes you put too much pressure on yourself, and you try to make every shot perfect, and you got to learn to.
36 holes on Saturday, top 8 advance. It's a long day.
Intense weekend.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of holes.
It is. And then you transition to match play on Sunday.
Yeah, it sounds like the Junior Club Championship at Wayne Hills way back when I came in 3rd.
That's what they used to do, a little stroke play, match play combo?
I came in 3rd out of 3, so yeah.
Well, I joined.
It was good.
I started playing golf pretty, 11, 12 years old, and a couple of my friends who were members down there had been playing, and I just got my ass kicked every week, every month in junior golf, or every junior golf tournament for about 4 or 5 years till I caught up with those guys a little bit. So, I've been there too.
Now you're taking their money on Sundays.
Well, now neither one of them live around here, but it's funny when they come home. I still have probably more trouble beating those guys than anybody.
Really?
Just because,
mental?
Yeah, probably a little mental, but that's a Zen tip for another day, my friends.
Yep.
Thanks again for hanging out with us here. And remember to subscribe on YouTube, Stitcher.com, iTunes. And we're online at fingerlakes1.tv/golfpod. Hope you had a great time hanging out with us for episode number 38. We'll be back live next Monday night at 9 p.m. Till then, hit 'em long, not often.
Support great local content like this by becoming a patron of FingerLakes1.com. Visit patreon.com/FL1.
FingerLakes1.com